Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Good morning and happy Football Friday, driven by AAA. Wherever the open road takes you, take AAA. My name's Mark Barzetta. That's Bob Cooney, Jamie Lynch, Pat Egan with you on this fine morning. First place, they win, beat the Giants, they eke out the victory. But I know last week we heard a lot about moral victories. And this isn't, your moral victory. There's no such thing as a moral victory. If there's no such thing as a moral victory, can there be a moral loss? Because this feels more like a moral loss. You don't hear about moral losses. Oh, hey, a win is a win. Hey, you know what? They still won the game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like that. Because anytime you're expecting to win a game, even against this Giants team, somewhat comfortable, like I thought they'd win by 10. I thought the Eagles would win by 10. Not that it wouldn't be a blowout because they're not good enough to blow anybody away. But I thought at least it would be a comfortable victory where you never felt like the Eagles were really going to lose this game. And did you feel like the Eagles were going to lose this game? The one saving grace for me throughout this entire game, through the beginning of it when you felt like, oh my God, the Eagles, they're going to put a full game together. This is incredible. And then, then the rest of the game happened for maybe the next, 3.5 quarters. And then the final the final drive happened and they won. But for the vast majority of this game, I'm thinking, you know how, even when the Eagles went down 11, you know how when you have a great quarterback, like almost a Hall of Fame level quarterback, you always feel like you're in the game? You can always win, no matter what. You still got a chance, right? As long as there's time on the clock, you still have a chance when you have that great quarterback. I feel like because the NFC East is so terrible, no matter what, you still had a chance to win this game. And I was waiting for the moment where the Giants would really show their ass, like the Eagles had been showing their ass the whole game. And the moment happened, and that was Evan Ingram dropping a pass that would have sealed the deal. And you know what was funny? Brandon Graham even highlighted that moment. Called out Ingram. He even called him something else. He didn't even call him Evan Ingram, but he called him something else. And you're watching it, and I'm just like laughing at Brandon Graham after the game in his press conference, talking about how, we knew we had a chance when we saw Ingram, have that ball go right through his hands. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's the moment. When you play in a terrible division and you're playing one of those terrible teams, you're always going to have an opportunity to win this game. But if you go through the pecking order of this game, and we do this every single week, where we talk about blame and we assign blame and who deserves the most blame, and to Jim Schwartz's luck, he hasn't been the biggest problem in a lot of these games. It's been more Doug Peterson. It's been more Carson Wentz. But in this particular game, and yes, we all know it was a win. Nobody feels like it's a win. I think blame is so equally distributed through really Doug and Carson. The offensive line, again, another version of the offensive line. Deshaun got hurt again. Lane Johnson got hurt again. But I really feel like when it comes to the most blame you could give in this particular game, I look a lot at how Doug Peterson coached this game, and I look a lot at how Carson Wentz played in this game. Because right now, if I have to look ahead to a week from Sunday to see how they're going to play against the Dallas Cowboys, look, you better hope the Cowboys are as bad as they were last week when they take on the Eagles next weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of confidence in Doug Peterson or Carson Wentz putting together another attempt at a full game. I can't remember a time I was more disappointed after an Eagles loss, Bob, than this. And they get first place with all of that.
Yeah. The defense only gives up 21 points. I can live with that, but I can't live with a 97-yard drive in a key point of the game where they go in for a touchdown to go up 11 points. Like that was so bad.
And they got you two turnovers.
They got 2 turnovers that amounted to nothing. They get in the red zone 5 times at one point and had only scored a touchdown and a field goal. The kicker's not good. Doug Peterson came out with a really good game plan. Liked it. My God, he scripted 15 good plays to start the game.
You got your reverse?
Got the reverse.
I got my screen?
You just got different looks, right? The Giants were on their toes. They went hurry up. They ran some misdirection. It was a fun offense. And I guess he scripted those plays on, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday, and then forgot that there was going to be 40 or 52 more minutes of a game that he's going to have to coach after that opening drive took close to 9 minutes, and they get a touchdown. What was he doing the rest of the game? I don't get it. And then he got pass happy again. They went up 7-0, and even when they went up 10-7 on that drive, they had 11 plays. They dropped back to pass 10 of them. Another series when they were stuttering, 5 for 5 drop back to pass. The next series, 3 for 3 drop back to pass. He went a total of, like, over a span that he went 28 of 29 plays he dropped back to pass. Like, and it was after a time, I'm sorry, mixed in there were 5 runs where Huntley got you some yards. You had 4 runs for 25 yards in that mix, and then he went totally away from it again. 5 for 5 passing, 3, and threw the next 8 times.
You wonder why sometimes Carson Wentz is acting like he has to do everything, and he's throwing like he has to do everything. It's because his coach is telling him, "Hey, go do everything." When you're passing the ball that many times, Bob, to back up your point, when you're passing the ball that many times, you're only telling your quarterback, "Oh, you're our only chance. So just do whatever you have to do out there."
And I'll tell you what, I don't think Doug Peterson's the smartest guy on the sidelines as the game's going on, as I've said before. And you know how they say your team is kind of an arm of your coach sometimes?
Yeah, sure.
Carson Wentz, I love his durability. I shouldn't say durability. I love his battling. I love what he tries to do, his competitiveness. I'm really questioning his smartness anymore on the football field. I'm not kidding. That was one of the dumbest interceptions I've ever seen in my life. Like, what are you doing?
It was 2 plays in the same drive. I believe they were in the same drive where
They were back to back.
I thought.
Are you talking about the flip before it? Because that was boneheaded too.
No, I at least he tried to get rid of it. Nobody was there, and it was incomplete anyway. So he got rid of it. He got rid of it on another play too, but it was intentional grounding. I'm like, all right, baby steps, I guess. But the throw that he made across the field, across his body, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And Troy Aikman was right on it, and he just said, to all the kids at home that want to be quarterbacks,
don't do that.
That's an example of a really bad play. And then I think it was the same drive. He's rolling to his left. They're in the red zone, and he throws the interception in the end zone. And that ball wasn't going to anybody. That was another throw. That was another play where you just give up on it. And instead he tried to force something. I think it was John Hightower maybe. But that was just 2 throws on that drive. That quarterback that they drafted out of North Dakota State.
It's gone. His pocket presence, it's really, really dumb. Holding on to the ball too long, and intentional grounding where it's like, what are you doing? You're trying to do something that everyone wants you to do, but you don't do it the right way. I'm really thinking it's an extension of the coaching, like, oh my God!
I am not allowing Carson Wentz off with any excuse directed at how bad coaching has been and play calling has been, because if he gets the opportunity to throw the football, make a smart throw.
Yeah,
And here's the other thing: it's not like he's dropping back to pass, 3-step drop, doing his read, throwing an interception. He's got time. When
he's creating time. Yeah.
Exactly. He's creating time is a better way to put it. But he has people either open or not open, and he has all the time in the world to decide. Should I just try to scramble for a yard here or throw the football away? Throwing across his body, I blame Doug Peterson 0 for. I got my own little pile of crap for Doug Peterson to call him out on, and then I got another pile of crap for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I agree. I can't. I'm not gonna be that guy that everything that's wrong is Doug Peterson. But if you're in an environment. I'm not kidding. When you're in an environment all the time, look, the reason New England's so great is because their environment is a winning environment, and we've seen the players come and go there, and you're like, my God, they're winning with a lacrosse player at wide receiver. Whatever it may be. I wonder if this environment of, wow, what the hell's going on here, is somehow playing into Carson Wentz's game where they don't know what they're doing. I got to do anything I can.
The only parallel I'll draw is, again, asking your quarterback to try to do everything. But even your quarterback should know when he's out of the pocket and he's scrambling not to throw across the football field. It's amazing that ball didn't get intercepted.
Yeah.
And then trying to force that ball in the end zone where it did get intercepted. And then missing, he missed some guys. He missed Fulgham on a 1st and 10 down the sideline where he ended up taking another bad sack in the first quarter. Fulgham actually dropped a touchdown pass in this game, unfortunately. So it turns out he is human. So that sucks. And then Troy Aikman was also calling him out for something in the corner of the end zone with Fulgham where he was saying if he was trusting Fulgham to beat his man, that should be an easy touchdown for the Eagles.
Yeah.
In the other corner of the end zone on the far
when he
side
threw it
of
out
the
of
screen.
bounds. Right, exactly, yeah.
So that's another play you can look at as well.
But
Don't do it.
the final 2 drives of the game,
okay.
he was near perfect. And look, I think expectations have clearly shifted for almost every single person that watches this team.
Sure.
You're always going to be in the game with him. And that is something I I don't want to come out of last night looking at all the negatives because they were clear. They were smacking you in the face for 3 quarters. When it mattered the most, he was perfect.
All right, so
and that's it. That's my expectation now is you're always going to be in a game. Even if you suck as a team, you're always going to be in the game with him.
as long as you're playing in the NFC East.
I mean, yeah, but he did the same thing versus the Ravens and the Steelers. I think that's just in him. That's a great quality for a quarterback to have. Does he need to fix stuff still? Absolutely.
See, that's where you take what he did against the Ravens and you say, all right, well, what should you do against the Giants? And that's why I thought this would be a comfortable win.
But I don't think he has the team around him right now to do that. I mean, that offensive line last night, Sua Opeta.
Oh, it's amazing what they're throwing out.
I get it, but
I hear your point.
When he's outside the pocket, he doesn't need to make the throws he was making.
He has a spaz gene a little bit sometimes, where he
That's a good way to
does.
put it.
That's a great way of putting it.
He does things he shouldn't do,
Okay,
and
Superman
I don't.
mentality.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever going to go anywhere, but when I see a pass like that Boston Scott game winner, I go, damn.
Well, the 2 best passes thrown all night were, and the difference of the night, the one was caught by the Eagles, the one was dropped by the Giants. I think that was Daniel Jones' best pass of the night last night, the one that Ingram dropped, right? Carson Wentz's best pass last night, the Hightower one was very pretty. He was wide open, but that was a really good throw to Boston Scott. The difference in the game was the Eagles caught the great throw and the Giants dropped the great throw.
So let's stay true to our form here, all right? Well, like we do this for every team in Philadelphia, especially when they play a stinker but end up winning. It's not just about playing the Giants, right? It's about winning the division at this point and at least trying to make it into the playoffs. Is this Eagles team going to go on, like I said, and beat the Dallas Cowboys? Like, do you have confidence that this team is going to be able to make those same mistakes and beat a team that's a better team like the Cowboys?
Confidence is not the word, but I think they will.
Again, what do we always do? We say it's one thing to beat this team, but it's not just about beating that team. It's about taking that performance out and applying it somewhere else. Yeah, you're not going to win many games if you play the way you played yesterday.
No, I don't have confidence that they can that you can go into a game confident that they'll beat
But
anybody.
it's a week-to-week thing right now with this team. I mean, that's what they are.
You're not going to win a game, even against the Cowboys, who are slightly better than the Giants, if you play the same way. Carson Wentz can't be good on the first drive and the last drive of a game and then expect to just win. Oh, the fourth quarter just started? I guess I'll start playing now. Like, you can't keep doing that.
No, not even a little bit. And here was something else that bothered me last night. The way they came out, great. I mean, that was so much fun to watch. That was Eagles offense of old. It was great play calling by Doug Peterson, although it was called on Tuesday with his scripted plays. But did you guys notice, and Egan and I talked about this a little bit earlier, did you notice how well they used Boston Scott, not only in the first series, but like in the first few series, where he got the ball, he got a screen, he got this, he got that? They've never used this season so far their number 1 running back as well as they used Boston Scott last night to begin the game. I'm sitting there going, wow, why didn't they do this when Miles Sanders was on the field? Why didn't they do the giving them the ball outside, inside, wherever it may be? Defense is on their heels. Imagine if you had a really, really talented running back there, which Miles Sanders is a little bit more than Boston Scott. I don't understand Doug Peterson's game plan, game to game, week to week, or for the whole season. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish.
I thought last night, coming out, they were very committed to running the football. I mean,
they went 6 runs and 6 passes in that first drive, Mark. It was beautiful.
Maybe I'm counting a scramble by Carson, but yeah, I thought it was 7. But
yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
You're right.
Nonetheless, it still was. I thought a great effort in the ground attack. Oh, look, they're not going to get Carson hit. This is cool. Oh, Carson still wants to scramble. Well, Carson's going to be Carson. Then we just have to learn to live with that. And then they absolutely got away from that, and it was working. And yeah, they even used a screen game with Boston Scott, and they got 10 to 15 yards on that screen pass. And I was thinking something similar. This is nice to at least see this commitment to the run. Where is it when you have your number 1 back with you? It's not there. Is
Unbelievable.
Is it just Boston Scott has the kryptonite for the New York Giants, whatever it might be? There are plenty of things.
They can't see him. He just scoots through the line there.
There were plenty of things that got under my skin. Even Doug, after the game, watching him at his press conference, Carson battled. That's what he went to. What do you make of Carson Wentz's performance? Well, he battled. Well, he kind of had to, because after the first series, it was nothing to write home about. And then the last drive of the game, you felt a lot more confident in this Eagles team. Going into the fourth quarter, you felt a lot more midway through the fourth quarter, you started to feel a lot more confident in this Eagles team, more so because the Giants are such a bad football team. And that's why we try to always take how they're performing, not just against who they're performing against, but what it means for another game. We'll see what happens in our way too early prediction, being that we still have a week to go. But we'll let you hear from Carson Wentz as the show goes on today, from Doug Peterson as the show goes on. We got a great story about what happened on the sideline with Brandon Graham right before his strip sack. The defense, I got to say,
he's having a phenomenal year.
He really is.
Yeah, he is playing well.
And last year he had one.
Although,
what? Oh, yeah. No, here's the only thing. Yeah, he's the DN in that situation. He's got outside contain on the Daniel Jones unbelievable run. But nobody made a play on that football.
Did you see the speed he reached?
21 miles an hour.
It was hilarious. Me, my mom, my dad, Addie, we all had a good laugh, especially seeing the Giants react to it.
Yeah.
He hit like almost 22 miles an hour, faster than any quarterback run since 2017.
Really?
He was faster than Lamar Jackson at any point on the field last year doing a long run. That's amazing.
I'll say this.
He outran himself.
Yes.
That's why he fell.
His body shut it down because it was like, dude, you're about to break something. You can't keep up with your feet right now.
His body was like, you're Daniel Jones, right? You better stop this.
But I saw him take off. I was like, holy hell.
I have not seen, I'll say this, I haven't seen anyone run that completely open in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I was trying to think of it last night. And in comparison to other running quarterbacks, for instance, at least somebody's around them because they're expecting that to happen, or they have more of an expectation for that to happen. Daniel Jones, you're not expecting him to do that. Like, yes, he's a mobile quarterback. I talked about it going into the game. He can create time. He can get your first down and all that. I didn't even expect that.
Get smoked in a foot race by Daniel Jones.
Oh, he gave up.
He gave up.
He did.
Yeah.
The bad thing was he slowed down not even. It's going to show that this guy's faster than me, so I'll just let up a little bit. I'll tell you what. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happens to corners. Slot guy, and this is what we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't see it at all. Heatedly.
I'm not a big fan of Nickel Roby-Coleman, not even a little bit. There was a great story on the sideline with Brandon Graham before the strip sack happened. We got their confidence level in the Eagles because going back and forth with a couple of people on Twitter, I mean, everybody was blowing it up. Everybody, fire Howie, fire Doug, fire Jim Schwartz, and that all.
I'm not there because I've shifted.
We shifted to what?
Team, but screw it. Let's get some W's. Like, I don't care. I don't care how it looks.
Take the playoffs.
Yes. Like I don't.
Well, I do too.
I can't expect them to handle anyone. This is a team that lost to Washington.
Right.
They're gonna battle, scrape, claw, and just be in every game. And if they win by a point, so be it. I don't care how the wins come. Just come.
Well, I do care because if Carson's going to be here guaranteed all that money, I want to see him play a lot better than he did.
Probably in the vast minority of how I'm going to view the rest of this season.
Like, I watch a lot of Aaron Rodgers. I watch a lot of these other elite they miss throws. Yeah, they make mistakes. I have not seen an elite quarterback make the throw that Carson Wentz made across his body, across the field.
Oh, Brett Favre used to do that all the time.
Yeah, that was how long ago?
Yeah.
Like before, has it ever been easier to play quarterback in the NFL? Back in the NFL,
It's not easy behind that offensive line.
It's certainly not behind that offensive line. But that's what I'm saying. He scrambled away, still made how does that even go through your brain? I know what I'll do. I'll throw on the opposite side of the field across my body. There. But then he also forces the interception in the end zone, or attempts to throw the interception, or attempts to throw a touchdown, forcing with nobody around in the end zone. So that was just dumb.
Was he really? My first thinking was, there's no way he wasn't trying to throw that out of bounds, and he just didn't get enough on it. And then I'm thinking, was he really trying to have some of the dumbest throws I've ever seen?
So I'm listening to people. I'm going back and forth with people on Twitter last night, and I enjoyed all the takes that were coming out here, and not were coming out on Twitter. And it was fire the coach, fire the GM, fire the defensive coordinator, fire everybody, bench Carson. I know a lot of fan bases get emotional during the course of a game, and rightfully so. That's why you're a fan. But I think what makes Philadelphia so damn unique is that most fan bases at the end of watching that, when their team pulls out the victory, they're like, yeah, we did it. How about that? All right. And Philadelphia's like, I stand by my previous statements. Everybody sucks. Fire everyone still. And I can't. I'll tell you right now, as I was saying with people on Twitter last night, I wouldn't have it any other way. When we come back, we'll let you hear the head coach of the football team, Doug Peterson fella. We'll let you hear what he said about his quarterback's performance. And one guy who is in the crosshairs more so than anybody, and he might have played his last game as an Eagle last night. We'll let you hear Doug on him when we come back here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mark Farzetta with Bob Cooney and Jamie Lynch. Mornings on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.